Well, good evening, race fans, and welcome to Vidane TV and the NEPS series from North Wilkesboro Speedway, a Monday night special. This is the Bob Bahre Memorial 75. Tim Terry and Mike James to call all the action for you here this evening. And Mike, we're getting ready to roll into another round of NEPS racing. We've seen some short track racing here in the last couple of days on Vidane TV. Got to see their last round on Saturday. And now we're getting ready to see some exciting racing at North Wilkesboro. 75 laps to run here tonight.
Well, pretty excited to be here all the way from Newfoundland up here in the Northeast. And, North Wilkesboro Speedway, quite the nice little track here. So we're going to be pretty pumped here to do some calling here for the Bob Bahre Memorial 75.
Yeah, of course, Bob Bahre, instrumental in racing in New England, a pioneer, whether it was the promoter of Oxford Plains Speedway, the builder New Hampshire Motor Speedway, New Hampshire International Speedway, and of course with Bob Bahre's connection to North Wilkesboro Speedway, it was when North Wilkesboro closed that Bob was able to get a cup date from Wilkesboro to move to New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and that track had 2 cup dates for over 20 years. So the little bit of a connection there. We're going to honor Mr. Bahre here this evening, who passed away this past summer. And drivers just completing their qualifying session, as you can see on your screen. The track kind of looks a little bit quiet right now, Mike. Cale Gale is going to start this race in the pole unless somebody can sweep the pole late. The former NASCAR Camping World Truck Series winner going to start P1. And Kenny Kibbe, who's had a strong run here the last couple of races, whether it's on Vidane TV or throughout the sim world, going to start in second. And the champ is going to line up alongside Wyatt Alexander. We got a stout-looking field at the front.
Yeah, we got to look in at Kenny Kibbe there last week at the TCM special event. So pretty stoked to see what he has for us here tonight in that P2 position.
And John Peters, Wyatt Alexander, row number 2 is a couple of drivers still sitting. They're getting their final couple of directions from race control before we send these drivers off. Thompson was the last race that they ran, Mike, and ran it on Saturday. John Peters started on the pole and had a rough run near the end of that race. Finished in position number 11. Ryan Libby was able to come from the back of the field in the last 20 laps to take away the victory. Ryan Libby will start 6th, I believe, here this evening, unless something changes in the last couple of moments of qualifying. We got a stout field of over 24 cars here getting ready to go. I see Brent Roy and Ryan Pasoko did not take time. Evan Boiler did not take time either. So we're at 27 cars getting ready to go green in just a few moments. So this one's going to be exciting. And production hauler Paul Strickland Jr., what are your thoughts? I'm going to give it to you early here. We saw Thompson on Saturday night. Some excellent racing. So what do we expect here tonight out of North Wilkesboro for 75 laps?
Well, we can definitely expect a really good show. These guys here at NEPS always put on a fantastic show. It's great to have these guys here on Vidane TV. As we got about a minute and a half left for qualifying, and you can see Cale Gale making his Vidane TV debut here tonight, starting on the pole so far. Like Tim said, unless somebody can beat that quick time and knock him off the top of the pedestal there. But man, I'm expecting a lot of really good racing. We'll probably see a lot of side-by-side. You can see these straights here on this racetrack are pretty wide, so there's a couple of grooves for that kind of racing and maybe a couple of lines in either end of the racetrack.
So the final couple of moments wrapping up into this session, and excited to see some drivers come from the back of the field. We mentioned the Brent Roy, Ryan Pasoko, Evan Boiler, 3 at the back. Zane Farrell's going to be quick. He's going to line up in position number 11, just outside the top 10. We saw Kyle Casagrande darn near won a Super Speedway race with us on Saturday night on Vidane TV with the Sim 500 series. Going to start 18th this evening. Danny O'Quinn in the O2 car going to start on the outside of row number 5. Corey Casagrande going to bring the 52 car from 7th. There's a lot of big names in here, Mike. I don't think we can really pick a winner before we even start.
I'm not familiar with a lot of these guys. I got to have a peek at Casagrande, and I was pretty impressed with him. That's one of Paul's good picks here tonight in the 7 machine. But just note to Tim, I haven't talked to you in a while, but I found out tonight that our producer here, Paul's actually a quarter Newfoundlander.
Is he now?
Yeah. A lot of these drivers probably got a little bit of Newfoundland in them.
So does that mean quarter? It was probably like a like a
10%.
68th or something like that. It was a small smidge, but yeah, found out today doing a little bit of ancestry research.
Well, there you go. Now we're gonna have to get you to start saying some Newfoundland lingo with like how she cutting and stay there till it comes to you. But we're gonna get ready now as they get set the grid here. Tim, looked like the last couple of minutes of qualifying they were out eating ice cream instead of qualifying. But we are gridding right now, and we'll see as you take it through.
Yeah, you can see the starting grid going through the bottom of your screen. These cars starting to come in. You just saw the 13 of Brandon Marhefka make his entry into the racetrack. He'll start alongside Ryan Libby. And as you look through the grid down at the bottom, your point standings, this is event number 7, I do believe, on the season for NEPS. And this is actually round number 8 looking at the schedule, or round number 7 looking at the schedule. Ryan Libby, John Peters, Kenny Kibbe, your top 3 unofficially in points, and there's only 11 points between Ryan Libby and John Peters. John Peters starts in position number 3. Ryan Libby starting in position number 6. As you look through the final couple of starting positions there, Corey Casagrande, Danny O'Quinn, row number 5. You keep going through the list. Jason Ricker's actually on the inside of row number 5. So it looks like we're getting ready to go green. Wyatt Alexander has exited the session. So our 4th place driver on the outside, Mike, not going to make the start, at least for this one. He's going to be late for it, maybe able to come back in through and pick up a couple of spots near the end of this one. But as you look through the field down there, the final couple of rows, we are 27 cars strong, expected to take the green flag here in just a few moments as we anticipate the pace truck to roll off.
Looks like the page truck's having ice cream.
Yeah, he's waiting. Field's official, though, so it'll move Ryan Libby. There he goes. Move Ryan Libby to the outside of row at number 2. Tough break for Wyatt Alexander. Great qualifying run for the 96. Actually had a great run at Thompson when we visited these guys on Saturday, but didn't have the finish that he wanted to in the 96, and now he won't have the start that he wants at Wilkesboro. We'll have one more lap before we go green. One of iRacing's newest pieces of content, debuted in the spring of 2020, North Wilkesboro Speedway, and debuted with the NASCAR, eNASCAR Pro Series Invitational. We'll see these drivers get at it and put on their show for 75 laps in the Bob Bahre Memorial. 1 to go this time. Cale Gale, Kenny Kibbe, your front row, with John Peters and the 46 of Ryan Libby, your top 2 in points. Going to line up side by side now in row number 2 with Peters to the inside of Libby. Working through corners number 1 and 2. Mike, you're new to these guys. Who do you think's going to win this?
Well, you know what? I'm thinking Casagrande. I got a good peek at him last week at the TCM special event, so I'm going to take one that I've known. Casagrande been a strong competitor over the last couple weeks, so let's see what he has for us.
Pace truck is in, field in command of Cale Gale. Green flags in the air. We are underway, and John Peters already to the back bumper of the number 83 as they dive it down into corner number 1. Field looks good through 1 and 2. Got to watch that curb on the inside, Mike, here at North Wilkesboro. That'll come out and bite you in a hurry. John Peters is glued to that white line to the inside.
Definitely a driver favorite here at North Wilkesboro. Great to see it in the server. And Cale Gale in the 83 machine out front by with lots of clean air with John Peters and Kenny Kibbe now battling for the 1-2 or the 2 spot. But we got some damage on the back with the 31 and the 26 machine.
Oh, no. Is that Brent Roy already? That didn't take
long.
The
lone Canadian.
The 26 is tore up on the front end, and Mike, he finished Thompson on his roof. So obviously not the finish that he wanted to with Thompson, and not the start that he wanted to as Aiello also gets into it here. We'll head down to the production trailer. Paul Strickland, what happened to those two?
Yeah, feeding time comes early here with the kick-ass beef jerky instant replay, and looks like the 31 got out of shape here. Anthony Aiello, well, he didn't get out of shape. He got put out of shape. Got a little bit of a bumpski there from the number 78, and once he got spun around, unfortunately nowhere for the 26, Brent Roy, to go, and well, they have a little game of chicken here to see who's going to back up first, and Almost got another tag in there. But it's a tough break for these guys. No resets here in NEPS. So these guys are going to be able to change tires and work on some of the sheet metal. But I don't know if they're going to be able to be contenders later on.
Well, Paul, I'm going to burst your bubble because the server is showing one fast repair. So they might be lucky. But we'll have to see if they come down and when they decide to use it, if that is the case, because both of those drivers, 26th and 27th respectively, Mike Hopkins giving an end of the longest line penalty, so he'll start alongside or along back there in the 78 with those pair, as you see on your screen. And Wyatt Alexander has made his way into the racetrack, and I believe, Mike, he's being scored on the lead lap, so a good break for the driver from Maine, but he's got a long way to go in that 96 car.
Just checking in on pit road. Brent Roy is going to take advantage now on pit road, grabbing some Goodyears and doing some quick repairs. Still showing on the lead lap, so he's going to join at the tail. 29-second pit stop for Brent Roy. Hopefully he can get some of that damage. Can't get too hard on Roy right now, as he was kind of just in the wrong spot.
So we should see the double up this time. They do have lane choice, or the leader has lane choice. So we'll see if Cale Gale decides to go the inside-outside on this restart. But it looks like we are doubled up and or single file still, and the lights are still on atop the pace truck. So I guess, Mike, we're going to do one more lap around this joint. But I thought the caution laps were one lap shorter, but they'll have one more lap to think about it before we throw the green flag one more time. And not a whole lot of movers early in this race, except for those few that ended up at the back of the field. So opportunities here, though. This racetrack, once it rubbers up, will be a two-groove racetrack. By the way, we've seen it run here on Vidane TV, so I'm excited to get some rubber down here and maybe see this racetrack go to two grooves.
You talk the hot side on the restarts, and we've got to see the North Wilkesboro Speedway quite often over the last 7 or 8 months in the iRacing during the pandemic. But what I've seen is the inside is the way to go here. It seems like you're on the outside. It's very hard to predict when the leader's going to go.
We'll see what happens here. Cale Gale has chosen the inside. Pace truck has peeled off John Peters to the outside. We'll get ready to see the green flag. There it is right there. We are back underway, and quickly to the lead is Cale Gale. John Peters will have Kenny Kibbe looking to the inside in the 15 car. Ryan Libby holding on the outside. Side by side now for third as the point leader tries to pick up one more on the outside. But it might be the longer way around here as he'll fall into position number 4 with Brandon Marhefka in 5th.
Yeah, Marhefka's not going to line in. A lot of single file racing now as the 01. Charles Lewandowski jumps in there, but a couple two wides back in the mid back here, battling it out for position.
There's Brandon Uhouse to the inside. Uhouse in the Little Trees number 61 had a couple of touch and go incidents at Thompson. Was able to finish that race, I do believe, but not the finish that he wanted to. Had some run-ins early. The 81's around him behind him, and that will draw the caution flag, as the caution flag now flies. That's DJ Gerard in the 81, and Mike, I think there was a couple more behind him that went for the spin cycle too.
Yeah, I got to apologize to the 01. I kind of butchered his name. Charles Lewandowski.
Nailed it.
Lewandowski. That's a tough one for the noof.
Tough one.
Oh,
our tongues don't go. We talk fast, but that's a tough one.
It just didn't go in the right angle.
All I keep thinking about is Monica Lewinsky.
Speaking of which, another kick-ass beef jerky instant replay. kind of a weird synchronized spinning type deal, because we had 3 cars lose the back end of the race car at the exact same time, and you can see the 22 gets loose. Well, he gets into the 70 and he loses it, and the 81 gets sent around DJ Gerard there too. So it doesn't look like there was any kind of big hits or anything. So these guys should be good for the end of the race.
Yeah, but they'll start at the rear of the field, and with these laps clicking away as they are, 2 cautions in the first 10 laps or so. Mike, we're used to seeing these guys, and at least we saw it at Thompson. Quick caution at the start, and then we saw a lot of green flag racing in the middle stages leading up to the end of the race, where we did have 1 green-white checker. So these guys, the great thing with the NEPS guys is they know how each other races. There's a lot of respect in between these guys, and typically they put on a great show, and They get into a wreck, something happens, they kind of just laugh it off and move on to next week. So I'm excited to see this play out. But you've got a lot of good drivers at the back of the field now. Wyatt Alexander, Devin Marhefka is back there. You've got, looking back there, Brent Roy was back there. He's now back up to 17th place. So it looks like a couple of drivers may have come down pit road under that caution. Evan Boyler in the 56 started back in 25th. He's up to 19th. So we got a lot of drivers near the back of the field that's either started back there or are back there by the first couple of cautions, and now they have an opportunity to pick up some spots, or they're going to have an opportunity here when we go green.
Yeah, like you said, 7 drivers now reported to pit road, but look at that. Brent Roy and Anthony Aiello now moving up into the 17th, 18th position with that early caution that we seen in the beginning. 75 laps, not a lot of laps here on the, I guess you could call this about a 6/10 of a mile, 3/5 here at North Wilkesboro. So not a lot of time. So some strategy at play with pit road in the early parts here, because we probably, if we get a long green stretch, I don't think we'll see pit road very much.
No, I don't think we will either, especially with the way this deal is set up and being short races and sprints to the end. We're already down to 60 laps to go this next time by when we take the green flag. Cale Gale lines up alongside John Peters once again. Kenny Kibbe, Ryan Libby, same row as the last restart. Brandon Marhefka, Charles Lewandowski, Danny O'Quinn, Corey Casagrande, Dylan Kopech has made his way into the top 10, currently running 9. And Brandon Newhouse is your top 10 as the pace truck will get ready to peel off. Field will once again be in command of Cale Gale as they work through corners number 3 and 4. And there's the green flag. We are back underway, and keep an eye on Kenny Kibbe in that 15 trying to get to the inside of John Peters. He'll get there in the entrance of 1 and 2. We'll have a battle for second.
Yeah, Cale Gale looking really sharp on these restarts, gaining about 2 or 3 car lengths on these restarts. But look at John Peters timing it perfectly to jump in front of the 15 machine of Kibbe. I'm a big fan of that P3 position on restarts, but John Peters making a wonderful job maintaining that position number 2. But we got some action about halfway back, and we got a little bit of a rub against the wall. A lot of action back there side by side as Danny O'Quinn comes around in the 0-2 on the outside.
Yellow flag will fly for the third time here this evening as we'll slow the field down one more time. Cale Gale will collect the pace truck on the back straightaway, and we've got cars that aren't looking exactly like the ARCA National Grand National car should on this sim. I believe the 76 may have lost the bumper on that one, but Paul, it happened way ahead of him.
Well, the 78 of Mike Hopkins was reported to pit road there, so he's obviously involved.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the kick-ass beef jerky instant replay, see if we can figure out exactly what went down. There's the 76 there on your screen. He was involved. The 22 was involved. I believe the 44 was involved as well. Aha! Brent Roy pointing in the wrong direction. Gets tagged there from the outside by the 76. We'll back that up one more time, see if we can see what happened to get Brent Roy. Yeah, we'll just combine his names together.
You should have listed me in the first place. Just follow the 78.
Wasn't that how we saw Brent get around before the last time? A little bit of help from the 78.
78 got into Aiello.
That's right. All right, here I am making up storylines as we go.
Man, and I'm the virgin here.
Mike Hopkins has called it quits for the night. He is done, and
either that or he got the boot.
Well, that might be it too. He's done. He's on the trailer for the night. Brent Roy's got a damaged race car, and he's already used his quick repair, so you can see the bumper drag. That's a great thing about the brand new. It's not brand new anymore. I haven't been around for a while. It's the damage model on this ARCA National car. You can see the fenders dropping, the bumpers dragging on the racetrack, and it doesn't look pretty for the 26 of Brent Roy compared to those guys up front.
If Brent Roy's looking for a caution, all he got to do is scrub against the wall and lose the back bumper and bring out the caution. Or
I mean, I'm sure he's a race car driver, so I'm sure it's crossed his mind.
With the obviously they don't. There's no debris once the bumper falls off. It doesn't. I'm new to the new car.
No, there would be no debris cautions, and as far as I know, I think that bumper is going to stay there unless it gets impacted. and when it does get impacted, it's not going to cause a debris caution per se.
Goes back into the virtual world.
It essentially, it falls into the virtual black hole, I guess is what we'll call it. Cale Gale up in front, car number 83, the driver from the Carolinas, a former winner in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And I believe, Paul, you said earlier, this is his NEPS debut, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe this is NEP's debut, definitely the Vidane TV debut. You can actually see a lot of these drivers active on Twitter and calling Cale Gale out to see when he was going to come out and run a NEPS race. And it looks like he's taking everybody to school here, so don't poke the bear unless you're ready to fight him head on.
And he's had a history in sim racing, had the Gale Force sim racing team for many, many years, and one of the graduates from that team just went on to win $100,000 a couple of weeks ago with Nick Ottinger. So it might not be for $100,000 tonight, but Cale Gale's trying to get a checkered flag this evening and put one in the win column for team number 83 in the Bob Bahre Memorial 75. Pace truck is in. Field in command of Cale Gale. Look at Kenny Kibbe ready to go on that one. Green flag flies. We're back underway. And Kibbe once again to the inside of John Peters, trying to make it happen for second.
Yeah, Kibbe and Peters trying to time Gale, but Gale not going right away, but smoothly comes out of that hole. And now we're seeing John Peters tuck into that position number 2 as Kibbe and Libby give chase in the 3 and 4 position.
You ride on board with Ryan Libby trying to get closer to that 15, and you can see that curb on the inside that he has with those left tires. You'll see it down here again in turn number 3. You don't want to get on that curb because it'll upset the handle of that race car and shoot you way up the racetrack. So they're hugging that as close as they can around this racetrack. Cale Gale and John Peters starting to pull away just a wee bit. You kind of see it there from that onboard. Now back up line. First driver side by side looks to be U-House back there in the 61 car, racing around Zane Farrell for that spot, and Corey Casagrande now to the inside in the 5-2.
Casagrande at the 12th position, about halfway back here now as we have 26 cars left in the field here. Zane, we're having a peek now at Zane Farrell in the 7 car. As we get 27 of 75, we are 1/3 past of the completion of this race. But it's all Cale Gale out front, dominating here for the first 27 laps.
No challenges so far for the 83 car of Cale Gale. The battles continue on mid-pack. Brandon Newhouse was able to pick up that spot on Zane Farrell and hold him in behind. But as we continue to run, looks like these drivers might have found a little bit of a groove and a little bit of a rhythm here, Mike. Single file through about your top 10 as the 83 of Cale Gale begins to pull away under this green flag, run about 3 car lengths up on John Peters.
Yeah, we're having a peek here now at Cale Gale as John Peters tries to throw out the reel here and try to reel in Gale, but Gale very smooth right now and running consistent laps, 18.21. But John Peters a little bit quicker by 2 1/1000, so they're very consistent between the 2 drivers right now, between Peters and Gale.
Yeah, going back and forth up in front, and those two have pulled away by about 0.7 of a second back to Kenny Kibbe. Ryan Libby keeping him honest. Brandon Marhefka all alone in position number 5 and trying to find a battle here. There's no real side-by-side battles. I think Matt Shinosky, Wyatt Alexander might be the first battle back there. Brandon Newhouse continues to fall through the field. He must have had a moment, Mike, because now he's back there around the 20th place position, battling with Ryan Pasoko, battling with the 14 of David Arute, the 22, taking a look to the inside of Devin Marhefka. So U-House must have got into the wall or something. You can definitely see some right side damage to that race car.
Yeah, definitely a battle at the rear of the field, and that's pretty much the only race right now as a 74 of Ryan Pasoko got the inside right now in the 61 of Brandon Newhouse. Butchering this guy.
Close enough. U-House in the 61 and he's back there to already 20th place. So he wants a caution because I think he can come down and get his quick repair, but we've seen a couple of early cautions. Side-by-side battle now for position number 6 is Lewandowski and Kopech going at it for that spot. Kopech taking a look to the inside, Lewandowski to the outside. The freight train starting to form in behind Danny O'Quinn and Corey Casagrande. Close call there between those two and Zane Farrell as the 01 of Lewandowski going to take that spot from the 09 of Kopech. Kopech's going to have to try it again to get by him.
So Casagrande in the 52 machine now making his way into the top 10 and position number 9 with Zane Farrow in chase. But up front, the
battle on your screen is the 09 of Dylan Kopech, the 02 of Danny O'Quinn. And Mike, it was Kopech who hit the inside curbing a couple laps ago, and Lewandowski was able to pull away a little bit from this battle. They'll put a lap on the 55 car at Jeffrey Brown. Brown goes one lap down to this battle for position, as we're already up on the halfway point in this Bob Bahre 75. 38 laps completed, 39 laps to go in this one. Battle continues on. Here comes Casagrande to the inside of Danny O'Quinn as O'Quinn tries to hold him off and almost got a little bit sideways at a turn number 2 and almost side-slapped that 52 of Casagrande. He'll pick up the spot.
still in that position number 9, Danny O'Quinn in the 02, trying to reel in that Lewandowski.
They continue on for that spot as Kopech holds on to it. He got that apron a couple of laps ago, got that curb, and now back into a groove. Closing in on the 0-1 of Charles Lewandowski. Lewandowski leading this pack. This is the battle for position number 6. You ride on board with Kopech. It's what he has to do to get up there and battle with the 0-1. Marhefka a little ways ahead of this battle. Up in front, you're not missing anything. Cale Gale and John Peters are still nose to tail. It's about a car length or so in between them, but they have gapped the field, Mike, by almost a second and a half.
Yeah, Lewandowski a little out of shape there coming off the bottom there. Opened the door for Kopech, but we're back to the leaders as John Peters is putting a lot of pressure right now on the 83 of Cale Gale. He's got a full rear view mirror right now as Peters sizes this up. I think they're going to run some laps here as Peters holds on to wait for the right time. I think he's liking that position. He gets a little loose and almost loses a couple of car lengths, but manages to get up on the wheel here and continues to apply pressure to the back bumper of the 83 at Gale.
Cale Gale trying to hold on here, was good on the short run, and now John Peters starting to lay the pressure to him. That gap is almost extended to 2 seconds back to Ryan Libby. You'd have to think Libby might be saving something here. He's all by himself. No pressure from behind, no pressure ahead of him. You can see him there on the top of the shot as the caution flag will fly, as we will put this field under caution. This might be the opportunity to take tires. It's Michael Bennett of the 64 car going around in turn number 2. That is the Duralube number 64. And we'll be put under the caution flag one more time. Paul Strickland, what did you see down there?
Yeah, we're just pulling up the Kick-Ass Beef Jerky instant replay right now. Little technical. Not even going to call it a technical difficulty because I forgot to push the button. That happens when you do it live here at Vidane TV. But you can see the 64, the 22 running side by side here. We may have backed this up just a little bit too much. But we saw the 64 was out of shape, pointing in the wrong direction. We kind of caught the tail end of him getting that car reset. You see a little bit of a wiggle there from the inside the number 22 car. And does it again. Oh, just slides right up in the racetrack. Hits him right in the inside of that door, sends him on around. Really didn't do anything. It just kind of caved in the car, and you can see he's going to lose a lap here. I believe that was Cale Gale, the 38. There he is, 83. Check that. Actually, Cale Gale does him a solid. He slows down, lets Michael Bennett get out before losing a lap there. So definitely cool to see that kind of stuff. And it looks like pit road is a hot commodity right now.
Everybody's down pit road, Paul, and we'll see now who's going to stay on the top here as they all come out. Cale Gale still on the top of the board. Just looking at the times here, Tim, looks like everybody took 4.
Except for Zane Farrell, who took 2 tires in the 49 car. He'll be out. It looks like position number 2. It was close coming off a pit road between himself and Cale Gale, and it's got to be a track position play. Started 11th, was running around the top 10 or so, fell back a little bit on that green flag run. Looks like 2 right side tires for the 49. He'll slot in between here. Where did John Peters come out? John Peters came off pit road in 5th. So, again, the point leader, the defending champion of this series, chasing Ryan Libby now in points after the misstep at Thompson, now finds himself in 5th. It's not the hole that he found himself in at Thompson last week, Mike, but still, with this racetrack being hard to pass and with Cale Gale up in front, he's going to have to dig deep here.
Another note, the 22 involved with that caution took 2 tires as well and is in the position number 9. Darren Marhefka in the 22 manages to get all the way into the top 10 window here. So after that caution, took advantage of everybody going to pit road, grabbed 2. But I got a funny feeling with 25 laps here, those 4 tires are going to come into a big play here.
Been looking at some of the comments here on the broadcast from the NEP boys and girls. Want to thank you for watching. If you're watching us, drop us a comment. Let us know who you're cheering for tonight. Lacey Brunel, who we saw on the Better Half Dash earlier in the season, said the Canadian announcer sounds like Mario Lemieux. So I'm assuming, I didn't know Mario Lemieux was a Newfoundlander.
You're Canadian. Maybe they're talking about you.
I've been here before, though, so I'm a part of the family now.
Oh.
I know
Mario Lemieux's cool.
I mean, I knew you guys played hockey. I didn't know he was a Newfoundlander.
let me grab some wobbly pops and we'll speed it up for you. But I spend a lot of time in the United States, so my accent's kind of funny. Depends on how much beer I drink. So we are back to green flag, and Cale Gale is dominating these restarts. But now we're seeing that big battle for position number 2 as Zane Farrell's got the bottom, but Kenny Gibby's got 4 fresh ones, but scrubs up the top.
Yeah, I think the 49 may have got the wall coming out of turn 2. That was close for the 49, and 2 tires on that race car, as you mentioned, Mike, not working out for Zane Farrell. Has already fallen back to position number 4. He's got John Peters to the inside. Marhefka closing in. Kopech got the inside at a corner number 2 that time. Got that curb, lost the spot to Lewandowski, and now Danny O'Quinn moves to the outside. Where do you watch on these restarts? The 49 getting a run on John Peters. Battle once again for 4th as he tries to get by the 51.
Lots of action on the track. I believe the 81 gave a little scrub to the 22, DJ Girard, but lots of action right now as we check in on John Peters into 51 as he has the 49, Zane Farrell to the outside. They're going to go toe-to-toe, door-to-door, coming around the corner here. Peters gets a little bit of an advantage, and Zane Farrell gets loose and almost tags the wall.
Yeah, he had his hands completely full on that 49, and now the freight train, once again, it comes through. Boiler in the 56 closing in, the 02 in the rear view. You can see it out back there as you ride on board with the 49 of Zane Farrell. He has the 02 of Danny O'Quinn working to the inside, so he's got to give him a little bit of room. And then you got the 56 in behind him. Girard coming through as well, so Farrell on those 2 tires trying to hold on for dear life here.
Laps counting down as we complete lap 57, but a little battle back there with the 56 machine of Evan Boulot and DJ Girard.
And in behind the 22 of Devin Marhefka in that little line. So Farrell trying to find a spot down low. Evan may let him get down there, but as I say that, the 49 goes up the racetrack down in turn number 1, allows that hole to be open for the Hancock Lumber number 56 car. They'll go toe-to-toe for that spot, not missing anything up in front. Cale Gale is driven away as the 49 again has a moment on the outside.
Yeah, all over the place right now as some with 2 and some with 4 tires, but DJ Girard a little bit loose back there and almost causing a wreck, but we are now checking in as they bunch up there. DJ Girard's got a pile of cars now. The 22's going to battle with him on the outside. That is the Devin Marhefka, almost 3 wide there as they pull off the gloves. The 64 is up into the wall. Michael Bennett manages to scrape himself off and maintain composure.
And continues on. We stay green. 61 laps being worked as Farrell around on the back straightaway. The 49 car in the grass keeps it straight. No caution flies. And he was involved in that pack around Wyatt Alexander and Jason Ricker. There's 3 wide as they go around Aiello. And Corey Casagrande is cutting through this field like a hot knife through butter. Made the 3 wide move on the middle groove. Was able to pass Ricker and Aiello. Move him up to 13th place. Matt Shinosky and Ryan Pasoko trying to do the same thing back there. These guys mean business in the second half.
With 12 to go, it's time to go. Spotters are telling the drivers there's no time to hesitate now. If you got to get the bumper, let's go. Drop it to the bottom and let it go. Cale Gale now coming up on some lap traffic as he comes up to the back of the pack. Throwing down some wicked fast times, 18:72 on the last pass. But the quickest car on last lap was John Peters with an 18:69. The 51 car is trying to get back up and now maining a couple of tenths of a second here.
Yeah, top 2 kind of by themselves right now. You see John Peters trying to reel in Ryan Libby. Not a whole lot of pressure from behind with Kenny Kibbe, but he's still back there in position number 4. Brandon Marhefka in position number 5. So top 5, not a whole lot of pressure around them, not a whole lot of pressure between them. Caution flag, though, will fly. So all that gap will come back as pace truck pulls off, and Jason Ricker and Matt Shinosky are in the grass in the back straightaway. That was the pack that we just covered a few moments ago where around Corey Casagrande and where Zane Farrell was running a few laps back as well. So Paul, something must have happened back there between those two running around the 12th place position to bring out that yellow. What'd you see?
Yeah, it may very well be the handling starting to get away on these race cars. We've been seeing it lap after lap. Every time that somebody comes off of turn number 4, they got a little bit of a wiggle that comes off. And we saw it definitely big time with the 49 of Zane Farrell. There you see the 31 gets out of shape and collects the 974 and 0. Almost kind of a synchronized spin there. No big hits. The 0 or the 100 there. Matt Shinosky able to get the brakes on almost in time to stop the wall. You see the hood crumpled up just a little bit, and everybody gets going. There you see Cale Gale again slowing down to make sure they don't lose a lap. So pretty cool to see that, kind of keep the spirit of competition alive there. But yeah, just a couple of guys got to, or the 31 lost the back end of the car. You're seeing a lot of it, so I don't know if these guys are going to come down. Maybe there's some more tires on pit road. We saw Zane only take 2 earlier on, so what's he got down there waiting for him?
I don't see. They have 2 sets of tires in this race, so they should have 1 more set left. But, Mike, I don't think they'd come down. Track position here is going to be key with only probably 5 laps, 6 laps to go when we go green.
I don't think you'll see the top 10 go. With 7 to go here, lights are still on that pace truck, so we're probably going to be in the window of 6 laps here. Cale Gale will be your leader. But I like John Peters' position right now after this caution, moving into the P3. The 51, now if he times this properly, I really like that inside row number 2. So Ryan Libby will be on the outside of row number 1. The 46 machine will have to time it near perfectly. If not, John Peters is going to be on the hammer.
Yeah, John Peters is going to have the, if there's any advantage to try to beat Cale Gale, it's the best place to start. He'll be on the inside. But we saw that earlier with he and Kenny Kibbe when Kenny was able to get to the inside of John, just wasn't able to make the move on the restart. So it might have to be a power move. These drivers do have the opportunity at a couple of green-white checker flag finishes in order to settle this if need be. But we don't really want to think about that right now. We want to get this race done in the allotted laps. As we'll come by this time, field will double up. We'll go green with 5 laps remaining in the Bob Bahre 75, and we'll see what John Peters has here. He might be able to, if he can get to the inside of Libby without wasting a whole lot of time, he might be able to get a shot at Cale Gale, but he also might have used a little bit up that time, Mike, trying to reel in those top 2.
It'll be interesting what Cale Gale throws down now, if he's going to roll out or if he's just going to drop the hammer once that pace truck is out of the way here. We'll see here now as they come around the corner here. The 83 will have the hammer, the restart here. 46 to the outside, Peters to the inside. And the 51 looks like he's going to time it, but what a great jump by Ryan Libby on the outside.
Libby able to keep lockstep with the 83 of Cale Gale. Can he get the run off of corner number 2? Still side by side with him, and Kenny Kibbe going to look to the outside as well. John Peters trying to hold that inside line. Cale Gale comes off at turn 4 with sole possession of the lead, but Ryan Libby is there. Got a great run out of corner number 4, able to kick the door a little bit open, put that foot in there side by side, and that wall comes pretty close coming off at turn number 2. Side by side still for the lead. They're coming down this time with 3 to go.
Kenny Gibby into 15 now coming into play. Now going to get around Peters. Now holding the outside line, trying to slingshot it around. Cale did a great job trying to pinch the Ryan Libby to the top of the wall, but now maintaining the 46 coming on strong to the outside with the 15 to the bottom.
Big move by Kenny Kibbe to try to take second sideways at a corner number 4. Can't get that run that he needs down the front straightaway. Ryan Libby able to get that run on the outside. He'll pick up position number 2. John Peters sees what the 46 was able to do that last time by. He'll try the same. They'll come to the white flag this time. Final lap here at North Wilkesboro. The 83 of Cale Gale has the lead. Battle is for third. Kenny Kibbe trying to hold off the defending champion of John Peters. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Ryan Libby playing chase to Cale Gale, sails it into turn 3 and 4. Can't get there though. Checkered flag for the 83 of Cale Gale. Gale will win over Libby, Kibbe, Peters, and Kopech. Your top 5, and Peters goes for a spin at the end.
Peters goes for a ride there. Tried to make everything work. What a great finish there from our top 4. Kibbe, Libby, and Peters putting on a great show. But, the 83 doing a wonderful job as well, trying to maintain composure up there in the front with all that pressure behind. Made a great move there on the restart, almost pinching Libby to the top and taking away a bit of juice from the 46.
So your first run with these NEP guys, Mike, what did you think?
It was a great run. Kind of would like to see a longer run from these guys. 75 laps is only like a bit of a tease, but great to see some of these guys. My first time seeing Cale Gale. It's a name that I've heard many times over in Xfinity and as well as the Truck Series. So great to see him here on the iRacing, and I believe you said it was his debut here in the NEPS Series.
And it does it in fine fashion, picks up the win from wire to wire. Started on the pole, finished in position number 1. We've caught up with Cale Gale. Well, you made it look easy. How easy was it from the driver's seat?
Well, I kind of, out there in practice, I kind of figured track position was going to be key to controlling the race. I feel like the 51 car and the 46 car was probably as fast as we were there, but just having a clean pit stop, I knew that we were going to have one set of tires there in the pit. Just being in position to control the race there was key.
Restart with 5 laps to go. You knew those guys were coming. They run this series on a regular basis. How nervous were you on that restart, thinking that they might be able to get one?
Yeah, I was debating at the end there to take the top actually on that last restart, because once the tires wore out some, the right front didn't want to cut as good getting into one with no heat. It took a couple laps once you got a heat cycle or 2 on the tires. So I ended up taking the bottom to protect it, and then the 46 make a really, really strong run on the outside there. But we were able to prevail there. But it was fun.
You've been on iRacing for a few years. Obviously, North Wilkesboro Speedway, one of the newer pieces of content. You've been here before in real life. What do you think of the recreation in the sim at North Wilkesboro?
It's I haven't made a lot of laps here actually. I just bought the track a couple of weeks ago, but Wilkesboro's where it goes downhill getting into one, you got to be sure not to overdrive it there, just like real life. And then I remember here, the grip was right off the bottom, right off the 2, as low as you could get. And it seemed like tonight that's where the grip was. If you could get pointed and get a good straight line and get off both back tires off the 2, that was the key to making good lap time.
Who do you got in this race car? Who'd you like to thank for the night?
I want want to thank all the guys over at Legacy Esports. I want to thank Corey and Zane for letting me come over here and race tonight. I know these guys are probably in like the middle of a point season. We actually talked about me coming over here at the beginning of this season, but I couldn't really commit to the whole schedule. And then I'm going to try to, now that the off season things are calming down, to come out here and race with you guys and have a good time. And obviously, Tim, you guys putting on the broadcast. I'll have to find out where it's at so I can go back and watch it. My girlfriend for letting me race tonight. And yeah, the good Lord above, and had a lot of fun and real competitive racing.
Well, we look forward to seeing you every time you hit the racetrack. Congratulations tonight. Go celebrate.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all.
That's Cale Gale, our winner here tonight from the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Second place is our point leader, Ryan Libby. Mike James, you're chatting with the point leader.
Hey, good evening, Ryan. How are you, buddy?
Hey, good, guys.
Great run. You know, you ran in the top 5 the whole race. You know, you had a battle there with Kenny Kibbe most of the afternoon, and you know, you finished next to him as he took 3rd place. But take me through the restart there, the final restart with Cale Gale. You were on the outside of John Peters. It was almost like Cale was kind of pinching you to the top.
Yeah, you know, we were a 2nd and 3rd place car. Cale was really good. You know, he qualified on the pole. He was real fast in practice, and he was definitely the class of the field. So congratulations to Cale on that. And also, the last restart, that's just hard racing. You know, it's 5 laps to go. He's on the inside. I got to run on the outside. If I had a little better restart, I think I maybe could have crowded him a little bit out of 2 and maybe got the run down the backstretch, but I just didn't have that restart. And I was kind of behind the 8 ball on his right rear quarter the whole time. And in order to complete that pass on the outside, you just had to be ahead of him just a little bit. And I can never quite get there. I just kind of lost all forward bite and fell back and had a little battle with Kenny Kibbe there. And it was fun. But once we got by Kenny, you know, with that last lap, I just kind of gave it all I could. But, you know, I just didn't want to move him, you know, because Cale kind of gave me enough room to race with him. But overall, it's a pretty good run, you know, top 5, you know, top 3 now. But that's good. You know, it's a good points day. Cars home in one piece.
Virtual. Well, great job. Coming down pit road, did you think you were going to take 4, or were you considering 2 tires?
Absolutely. Always 4. I've tried 2 tires with these. It could work, but here I know you kind of use the left front and the left rear here a lot, so you definitely need 4 tires. So yeah, I know I had a decent pit stop, got out ahead of John Peters there, and just you know, the top 5 guys here, and it was really good racing with Kenny Kibbe, John Peters, and like I said, Cale. We always race each other hard, but we race each other clean too.
Yeah, it was pretty nice to see Peters come up. He almost had could have gave you the bumper, but did not. Nice clean race in there between the two of you, as well as Kenny Kibbe joining the picture there at the final leg there. Anybody on the? I guess congratulations on another big points night. You're the leader of the points. Who's making up your season and bringing you to the top?
Yeah, I'd like to thank, you know, Phillips 66, and I'd like to thank all the NEP shift, and also I'd like to thank, I believe Jeff Brown sponsored tonight's race, so I want to say a thank you to Jeff Brown for that, and of course Vidane TV. I mean, broadcast. You guys, I watch every race, and I actually watch other races you guys broadcast, and you guys do a really great job. So I really enjoy it, and thank you.
Well, rough time for me introducing to you guys, but it was fabulous here tonight. You know, call for all the way from here in the East Coast, Newfoundland, Labrador. You guys did a great job. Once again, congratulations on the P2, and look forward to seeing you again.
See if we can slide over here and chat with our 3rd place finisher, Kenny Kibbe. Kenny, that battle for 2nd at the end. Walk us through those final couple laps, and coming home with P3 at the end of it. What'd you have to do to lock that spot up?
Yeah, there was a pretty intense battle at the end there. I was just giving it all I had, driving as hard as I could. My strategy at the beginning was to conserve, and I think it was actually kind of working, but we weren't getting enough green flag laps. I was hoping they'd walk back to me as the race went on, but kind of had to scrap that idea. And then we all pitted, and at the end there, just had to drive as hard as we could. And a little bit unfortunate that we were behind the one car who took 2 tires, or one of the cars that took 2 tires on the one restart after we pitted. So that slowed me down a little bit. But then there at the end, just driving as hard as I could. And I was really hoping that Libby was going to stay next to Cale, because it was going to slow both of them guys down. And then next I had to get clear of John Peters, which I kind of did. And then battling there with Libby, twice I got next to Libby trying to pass him, and I got loose on the bottom and just killed my rear tires. And when you get these tires hot, they're just pretty much dead for the next few corners. So I was fighting that in the last couple laps and pretty much ended my race from there. But really hard, good battles there with Libby and Peters all night long.
And those are the 2 drivers you're battling right now for a championship. We're just shy of the halfway point when it comes to this season-long championship. Are you thinking points in this series, or is that in the back of your mind as we go forward here?
Yeah, I mean, I try to come out here and have solid runs every single night, but man, I've had plenty of top 5s, but it seems like the 2 guys that beat me every single week are Libby and Peters. And I'm definitely thinking points. I think the consistency is a little more my strong suit than going for wins every week. But we beat Peters 2 weeks in a row now. He had some problems at Thompson. But Libby keeps knocking him down, really good runs. So he's kind of walking away from us. But like you said, it's not quite halfway through the season yet. Anything can happen. So as long as we can keep producing these top 5s, we'll at least have a shot at it.
You've been having some pretty good runs here on the service. Top 10 run in the TCM 300 last week, and transferred into the Snowball Derby for the Elite Boys on Speed 51, and now you're here tonight finishing 3rd. We don't race again until December 10th with NEPS. What's the plan in the next couple of weeks? Where are we going to see you race?
Well, basically, my next race will be Sunday, the Snowball Derby on Speed 51. And then I have a league I run on Saturdays in these cars, actually, these ARCA cars, fixed setup. They're 100-lap races. That will be off this week, but then next week we'll be back at it with them. And then what would be the next week when we be back with NEP. So, yeah, it was kind of a busy week this week with the TCM race and then now the Snowball, but then the next week or 2 after this is going to kind of die down a little bit.
Who do you got in the side of the car? Who makes it happen for you?
I'd like to thank everybody at NEP, Shift Marketing Design, for letting me come and race with these guys. I'm one of the westernmost drivers in the league, but they like me enough to let me come race. Libby and Peters, great battles with them every single week. I appreciate how they race. Cale Gale, congratulations to him on the victory. And thanks to Jeff Brown for sponsoring this race. And he's actually the guy who painted my number 15 car, and he's really talented at that, actually. So thanks to all them guys, and thanks to you guys for doing the broadcasts every week.
That's Kenny Kibbe coming home position number 3. Another podium finish, Mike, and 3rd place in points coming in, going to get him a little bit closer to 2nd place. Final thoughts on this evening? What were your first anticipations of this? And I mean, the next time that we're going to race here with the NEPS guys comes up on December 10th at South Boston. So another short track coming up. We might have to get you out of retirement again. Quiet.
You're talking to me,
yeah,
coming out of retirement.
I'm talking to you. I mean,
well, when I heard you say retirement, I was just like, must be talking to somebody else.
Well, no, you've done a couple of these iRacing shows, but first time with NEPS, so we're gonna have to dig you out of the closet again, right?
Yeah, well, the wife lets me in, try with children, but you know what? It was a great night. Great to be back here in North Wilkesboro. You know, I think I'll take you up on that South Boston. I got to hang out with those in Charlotte. I got to meet the owners and favorite peeps, part of the car home tracks, Eastbound International Speedway home track, part of that NASCAR group. So it'd be great to call a race at South Boston and see what these, because I was really impressed with the front guys. They were, like you said, they were quite clean and respectful to each other. It was a treat to see. It's little bit butchering some names there. Kind of threw in there. I was just putting my son to sleep, and you're like, "Hey, you want to call?"
Well, not too bad for being thrown to the wolves late in this one. But Paul, before we go to upcoming events, do we tell Mike what we're doing tomorrow? Since there might be a South Boston race tomorrow here on Vidane TV.
Well, we may as well, because we got a lot of viewers here, a lot of viewers that pretty much tune into everything we do here at Vidane TV, and they all stemmed from the cult following that is the NEPS League. So it's really cool to see the marketing animal that these guys are on Twitter and Facebook and all the social media. So, we got an audience in front of us, Tim. Why don't we tell them what's going on?
So coming up tomorrow, we are going to kick fire the TCM special events once again, and this was a little project that I told Paul we're doing it. If you want to broadcast it, that's fine. And Paul said absolutely. So
the only catch was I got the naming rights for the event.
Yeah, so you get the unofficial naming rights for the event. So it's the TCM Enduro Race, or what are you calling it?
The TCM presents the Smashed Potatoes 60 Minutes.
Yes, because it is Thanksgiving. It's the final race before the Thanksgiving holiday that Vidane TV is going to do. So if you're out there watching and you want to be a part of it, it's essentially a rolling, I don't want to say demolition, but it's an enduro race. It's 60 minutes, no rules, no black flags being cleared, no nothing like that. The first person to complete the most laps after 60 minutes is the winner. We're going to throw street stocks, the 87 car, got a couple of road cars we're going to throw at it. We actually had a test earlier tonight. The Volkswagen Beetle was the winner with Brandon Campbell. So we're going to throw it at that. There's up to 60 drivers that can be on the racetrack at the same time. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow night and you just want to kick back and no pressure, no rules, no nothing, join us on Vidane TV. That is an 8 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Atlantic start. Qualifying is going to kick off about 30 minutes beforehand. So if you're on the iRacing service and you want to be a part of it, be sure to just shoot us a message at Tim's Corner Motorsports. But following that, Paul, you got a little bit of a breather, and then we're back to some more racing with some familiar faces.
Yeah, taking the holidays off just a little bit. We were actually going to take most of this week off, but then you came to me with the idea for tomorrow night's race, and it's like, well, we're going to be off for 4 or 5 days. We're probably going to get bored towards the end of that, so we'll definitely jump on board with the old Vidane TV broadcast there. But you can see the schedule right now. It's the past couple of days that we've done. We've got the TCM Weekly Series. That's going to be kicking off on December 2nd. And Sim 500, the Atlanta 150, December 3rd. And then back with the Sim 500 Vidane Super Speedway Series. Another great race this past week. A lot of really talented drivers showing how to hold on to a car in the simulation that isn't really easy to drive. It's been explained like driving boats. But Rowdy Wesley Hogue moved into the points lead where he's been the past 2 seasons, and he definitely showed his frustration there.
Wait a minute, and how many belts does he have?
He has no belts.
Oh no.
We call Wes Rowdy No Belts because he's got no belts. But Jarrett Bolliard had a rough race, reigning and defending Vidane Super Speedway champion. If you haven't heard the news, Rent a Race Car is sponsoring the series. One Mo Gann, the winner of the Super Speedway series, is going to be getting a free rent a race car rental, a street stock rental at Stafford Motor Speedway. We've done it for the past 2 champions. Ian Plash went out, ran about 3/4 of the race before the motor unfortunately popped and ended up with a DNF. 22nd, I believe, was the official score. And then this year, unfortunately, we couldn't even get Jared Bolliard to the track because of the COVID-19 madness. So after talking with Gary Spinato and Paul Varicchio Jr., the co-owners of Rent a Race Car, and working with the track on some stuff, we're going to be doing a champion versus champion night, of a Vidane Racing night. And we're actually, depending on how much that costs, we might be putting together a little donation fund for that, because sponsoring real race cars ain't cheap, because, well, I'm trying my best to get my own out there. But we're going to do a champion versus champion night. We're going to basically hang out at the track, have Jarrett Bolliard, his championship belt. He's going to have one of the Rent a Race Car street stocks, and this year's champion is going to have their own championship belt and their own Rent a Race Car street stock as well. So that's going to be pretty cool, and obviously we're going to be camping out that week. And Mikey, you're a big Monster Jam guy. We're going to try and schedule that for the weekend that Monster Jam is at Stafford Motor Speedway, so we can really party it up and hit the wobbly pops hard.
Are they going to let me in the country?
I hope so. We're talking about next year, so hopefully this stuff's behind us.
I'll be on the road for sure, but count me in for tomorrow night, boys. I feel like you stole my idea, Tim. The rum what you brung, but I'm all in. Hopefully, we'll see that in real life in 2021. I'm a big advocate of this rum what you brung kind of bomber slash madness. A good friend Joe Chisholm Jr. and those guys were talking about it last year and putting the timing system in play with this. So we'll see what comes into effect tomorrow night, and I'll be here for some wobbly pops.
Well, tomorrow night is going to be exciting because I think, I don't know if we mentioned it yet, myself and Kyle Young are going to be in the booth with you, but we're going to be on the racetrack driving. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so there's no rules tomorrow night. If you feel the need to go deeper into a corner and maybe move somebody out of the way for a position, completely legal.
Can we make this rated R?
Paul, do you remember the last time that I raced and broadcast at the same time?
We're going to call it rated meh.
Rated M for mature.
That's, PG-13-ish.
No.
Parental guidance, maybe. It's going to be fun. Nevertheless, tomorrow. We should mention as well, you mentioned the weekly series, Paul. Registrations for that TCM deal opened up today. I think we're at 10 or 12 right now, so they're starting to roll in. You can head over to timscorner.ca for all the information on that. But I think that's pretty much it from here tonight. Paul, get us out of here.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick mention here. Just again, thanks for everybody for welcoming us into your home here tonight, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, a couple of different things we've been trying out here. Ryan Ratcliffe, easy enough for me to say. Oh my God, no NEPS until December 10th. I'm going to go nuts. That's all right. We'll have something going on here at Vidane TV. We got a couple of things in the works. Might be doing a little bit of UFC fighting. Might be doing some WWE 2K stuff. Maybe a little bit of Madden football here in the couple of holiday weeks off here, and not 100% opposed to calling any races that are on the schedule. Obviously, we're going to take Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day off, but we do still have those dates available for the right price and the right idea. But that's going to do it here for tonight. Great race here from North Wilkesboro. Congratulations, Cale Gale. I believe it's his NEPS debut that he's won, and definitely the first time he's won here on Vidane TV. But we're going to come back tomorrow night, same bat time, same bat channel for the Tim's Corner Motorsports Smashed Potato 60 live from South Boston. We'll catch you there. Have a great night.